my topic, digital in EFL speaking lesson and the implication for a learner volunteering. The case study at the Vietnamese University. There are 6 parts in my presentation. The first one is introduction. Traditionally in Vietnamese EFL classes, in English classroom, teachers are responsible for managing the interaction which occurs in teacher's language is the object of the course, laws of the organization. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, sorry. Laws of the organization of the classroom and the goal of teaching are achieved through teacher talk. Since a better understanding of the use of teachers' language undoubtedly help student improve their learning, and student can make a better use of teacher talk in learn the target language. And it is necessary to do some research on teacher talk, both theoretical and practical perspective. Um, the aim of the studies, the current study aims to investigate teacher talking time and implication for learner volunteering in EFL speaking lesson at a university in Vietnam. Therefore, the study consists of 2 main purposes. The first one is that investigating the frequency, the talking time, code. It means the languages and the purpose of teaching them. The second is that to find out that teachers through their talking time construct or obstruct their learner participation. From the findings, it is believed that practical suggestions about the teacher talk can be made so as to improve EFL learners' participation in speaking lesson. Um, this study aims to enhance language teacher awareness of teacher talking time and its positive effects on student speaking participation. It investigates features of teacher talk that obstruct or construct student participation in speaking lessons. The study used audio recording and classroom observation with the SETT framework and conversation analysis protocol to analyze characteristic, frequency, code, and purposes of Twitter Talk. Let's move to chapter number 2, literature review. Researcher conduct many definition on teacher talk, learner speaking environment, the role of teacher talk. Um, I will go with the first one, the teacher talk. Many definitions of teacher talk have been given from different perspectives. Typically, teacher talk is considered as the special language that teachers use when addressing second language learner in the classroom. About teacher speaking environment, learner speaking environment. Learner speaking environment in this study is characterized following by Walsh 2006 conceptualization. It refers to the degree of engagement learners have in form of oral performance to teacher talk and input. The role of teacher talk. Teacher talk has been proved to play various roles in all classrooms. Teacher talk serve as means of giving instruction, for example, explaining, giving feedback, encouraging learners, and classroom management, like controlling the activities, creating learning environment. So teacher talk is really important for giving instruction and management of the classroom. The characteristic of teacher talk, frequency, talking time, stated of occurrence, language choice in a teacher talk. I employ many definitions here in the literature review, but I go to the next one, the important one. that is the digital and learning opportunity. As Nguyen pointed out that teacher talk is important not only for the organization of the classroom, but also the processes of acquisition. It is important for the organization and management of classroom because it is through language that teacher either succeed or fail in implementing their teaching plans. And also, Walsh in 2002 indicated that teacher talk does have influence on student speaking in both ways, constructively and obstructively. The features of teacher talk and learner speaking volunteering. The SETT framework was chosen for two reasons. First, it provides a purposeful way to explore transcribe data to explore the practice of digital in terms of frequency, talking time, code, and purpose. Secondly, it provides a meta language that the researcher can use in stimulated interviews to explore the lesson recordings and transcribe to find out that teachers through their talking time construct or obstruct learner volunteering. Let's move to the methodology of the study. Okay, as I mentioned, the research already, so I will go to with the research design. This is the descriptive study with qualitative approach. The researcher used classroom observation and audio recordings to analyze the data. Regarding the participants, there are 5 EFL experienced teachers took part in the studies. The participants were invited to have 2 30-minute lesson recorded. They were free to choose the parts of the lesson which are being recorded as long as it was speaking lesson. A total of approximately 5 hours recording is then analyzed using a conversation analysis protocol. 5 classes were observed and teacher talk was audio tagged to examine its effect on student learning. Each classes was observed for 2 30-minute lesson. And up to 216 students studying in CAT classes were involved in the recorded lessons. All the students are Vietnamese learner of English from 18 to 22. They were assumed to be at a similar level of proficiency. The average size of the class varied from 20 to 25 students. And this is the data collection procedure. The first one is ask for permission, piloting the audio recording, administrating the audio recording, and then administering the observation. And this is the procedure for analyzing the data, for collecting and analyzing the data. I will go with findings. This is the extract number 1. After gathering the data in mode, operating according to Wolf's model, the researcher analyzed them following conversation analysis protocol. And there is a method designed to make sense of spoken data. As you see, the features in the class were grouped under 2 positive and negative impacts, 3 features of teacher echo, teacher interruption, and turn cognition were analyzed under the negative effect based on the interfering role of sustaining oral communication. So let's see. 4 teachers use teacher talk during their speaking lessons. As you see this check on the screen, the result from the observation and audio recording show that teacher talk play various roles in the classroom. Major role are presented in chapter number 2. On the other hand, it shows that the teacher spent too much time giving instruction and supporting students to involve speaking activity, although the focus has been on the quality of teacher talk rather than the quantity rather than the quality of the teacher talk. It is indicated that the teacher was successful in practicing and encouraging learner participation by taking part in the interaction and answering the question like, where's my house? In the room, in the yard? You see this stuff. Many study of teacher talk um, consistently show that teacher talk constitute between half and three quarters of a total talking time in the class. This study has found very similar results. The recorded teachers talk most of the time and control all activities in the classroom, which require very little learner participation. The student just inactively answer the question by short term, yes, no, uh, or go straight or go straight ahead, go straight or go, and so on. You see the struct number 2 below illustrate the dominance of teacher talk is an exchange. Let's go with the status of occurrence. The results of the present study are in line with some other previous study. Teacher talk occur in some teacher-fronted activity, requiring little opportunity for learner involvement due to the fact that the teacher control what went on in the classroom. In other words, the teacher obstruct learners' speaking involvement by spending too much time on his or her talk. At production stage, teacher present new vocabulary, structure, and the information of the lesson. Therefore, they were dominating in terms of teacher talk. About the language choice in teacher talk, as you see the table, teacher use two languages. It means code in the aims of their study, including both English and Vietnamese in the classroom. The table on the slide show the number of times teacher use mother tongue in 4 EFL speaking lesson, although implementing both two codes ensure student understanding, and it created a little student volunteering in purpose language. And Vietnamese words overused in English speaking class, and this resulted in little English speaking interaction. The feature of teacher talk 5 feature which teachers through the use of language that construct learning opportunities through the use of language have been identified. These include direct error correction, content feedback, checking for information, extended wait time, and scaffolding. And oh God, sorry. A number of studies have been suggesting that researchers should not give too much direct error correction in speaking performance in order to minimize interruption and create opportunities for student participation. 4 teachers in 4 observations that the researcher observed always give direct error correction when students made errors. Although this does not prove that their lessons are not successful. It requires very little learners' participation, as this occurs in follow-up turns. This type of error correction in time saving less intrusive in its favor most by learner, since it brings minimal interruption in the interaction flow. From the observation, the students were a little shy at the beginning, but they were more and more eager in answering the question, followed by teacher confirmation check, such as very good, good, as a result, checking for confirmation. They serve to maintain the flow and are more likely to maximize learning speaking potential. About extended wait time. Extended wait time consider the time allowed by teachers to answer the question not only increase the number of learner responses, but also result in more complex answer and leads to an increase in learner interaction. A teacher provided a student with a time to think and answer a question about her monthly cell phone spending. This allowed the student produce longer response and resulted in more complex answer. About scaffolding. Scaffolding involves more than simply error correction. Teacher tried to feed student missing words when they were struggling with to find out the right language to express their ideas. In some cases, teacher intervened too much and too early, as in the extract. However, it is evidence from the extract that students are actively engaged in constructing classroom discourse, which encourage them to participate in conversation. About features, teacher talk, obstructing learner speak environment. There are two features, turn completion and teacher interruption. It is indicated that the teacher had to jump over the next sentence without checking information. Confirmation, she moved to another activity very quickly and did not allow much time for a student to involve in speaking interaction. Regarding teacher interruption, there is evidence that teacher can interrupt student with too much filling gaps and cause the learner to forget what she was saying. The drawbacks of teacher interruptions has been proved by many researchers, such as Walsh in 2002 stated that the teacher has interrupted the learner mid-flow would unwittingly result in breakdown and causes the learner to lose what she was saying. Although the occurrence of obstructive features does not differ starkly in number, it hinders the long and extended contribution on learner speaking performances. If awareness of the importance of teacher choice of language is well established, it may well be conducive to enhance learning opportunity. So let's go to with the conclusion and implication. Okay, conclusion. This study highlights the benefits of teacher talk in fostering learner participation in foreign language classroom. The teacher use of language and pedagogic goals align promoting reformulation and clarification, leading to greater language proficiency. The research focused on four aspects related to language learning: frequency, talking time, code, and purpose. Classroom observation and audio recording show that teacher talk influence students speaking English speaking, learning both obstructively and constructively. However, teachers should raise awareness of the importance of teacher talk in the EFL classroom to maximize learner participation. The finding provide insight into current English speaking lesson and help teachers improve their teaching quality. The implication, the study revealed that the teacher talk positively influenced learner participation in classroom interaction. However, it highlights the issue of dominant teacher talk in English speaking classroom. The implication are that language teachers should be aware of language use, of frequency, talking time code, and purpose to increase learning opportunities. The study provides practical examples of interactional features obstructing and constructing learner speaking participation. The limitation of the study, classroom size limits analysis of student reactions. A teacher and student cannot simulate respond to others' lecture. The study examined a small group of 89 students and 4 teachers in university in Vietnam, limiting its generalizability. The article recording methods during the lesson may hinder student motivation and attempt that using language potentially causing side effects and hindering the development of their responses. The suggestion: first, it would also be worthwhile to explore the effect of teacher talk on student performance, interaction, and attitude, not only in speaking English language classes, as suggested above, but also in listening, reading, or writing classes in order to find out how the effect of the talk on these student outcome may differ or the same in class of other skill. Second, it may be interesting to examine the same aspect of teacher talk, but in different classroom settings, or use another data instrument such as interview, semi-structured interview, video tab, accessories to examine the potential relationship between teacher talk and learner speaking environment. To conclude, the present work, there is some research on certain aspects of teacher talk and the findings of it contribute to the investigation of speaking foreign language teaching classroom. Thus, there exists some limitation in this research. Hopefully, the further research on teacher talk still has a long way to go and will contribute a lot to promoting teaching quality and facilitating foreign language learning. And this is the reference. That is the final part of my presentation. Thank you for listening.